Monday, and we're live.
Hey, guess what? It's Jess the Ska Kid. It's Sunday afternoon here, but Sunday night across the pond. And with us this afternoon evening is Paul from the Skapones. Hello and welcome, Paul.
Hello, how are you doing?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for
Great.
joining us.
It's a pleasure.
To start off, I guess introduce us to you. I mean, I know who you are, but those watching at home, give us a rundown of you and who's missing tonight from the Skapones.
Well, they're all missing. Just as usual, because I've become some sort of band spokesman, really, because I've done this sort of stuff in another life and stuff. So, yeah, well, basically, we're a British two-tone style ska band, original ska band from the northeast of England. We've become quite well known across the country, and we're starting to find our feet internationally, and been going since 2013. The band's a size of 8, sometimes 9, depends. But you know, it is with ska bands; they're not small. And yeah, we supported the Specials last year in their 40th anniversary tour. We're supporting Dave Wakely and his Beat on their 40th anniversary tour of the UK next year. It should have been this year, but obviously the COVID-19 has got in the way of that. So we've toured we've toured the United States last year. It was hell of an occasion. It was brilliant. Absolutely loved it. It was a real experience, and we'd like to go back. We're playing Supernova next year, so we're looking forward to that as well. So, but we've toured Ireland and Europe, and we're looking at Australia for next year. But yeah, it's exciting stuff, and we're working on our second album. We've had about 8 singles out, and a well-received first album. So that's us. That's
a lot. I mean, you guys have done so much.
I could keep you going. I could keep you going all night.
So, because you said the band varies between 8 to 9 people, can you give us a rundown? Because ska bands, like you said, are large because there's so many variants in like the horn section. So go through and tell us what is the makeup of your band?
Right, I'm lead vocals and stuff like that. And then you've got Mark Wilson. He's the band founder, should I say, and he plays guitar. We've got Kev Watson, who plays bass for us. Unfortunately, Kev's actually unable to do the recording and stuff at the moment because he's in lockdown in a further part of the northeast due to the COVID thing. They've had tight restrictions placed on, so he can't get out to do anything. Then we've got Steve Cummings on keyboards, who's our musical director, a bit of a whiz kid. And we've got Michael Larkman, who plays drums. And then we've got the big brass section, which is Dave McNiff, who plays trumpet and trombone. We have Stephen Brown, who plays tenor sax, alto sax, and he's getting a baritone, so he'll be fully equipped. And then sometimes we have guests. So we sometimes, like I say, we're sometimes 9, but sometimes we have guests. So it all depends what sort of guests we want. Sometimes we have a baritone, sometimes we have another trombone. It changes as we go along, depending on what sort of event we're doing and who's free, really.
So with your group, because you've done a tremendous amount in really a small amount of time.
Really? Yeah.
Tell us, how did you come to get the ability to open for the Specials and now the Beat and your tour set up over here? Like, who's responsible for doing that, and how's that all work for you guys?
I'll start with how it's worked. It's worked fantastic for us. I mean, America was mind-blowing. It was real hard work because we played East Coast, Midwest and West Coast, then flew back from Los Angeles to New York and did a final gig in Brooklyn. And it was, and that was basically what happened there was we were doing a live gig local to where we play in the northeast of England. And I don't know if you heard the town of Middlesbrough, but from Middlesbrough, and we were doing our title track of our album, which is quite a bouncy thing live and stuff, and the video was put up on the internet, and a guy from America said, they don't play that sort of style of ska out here anymore. And I said, well, if you want to see it, do something about it. Bring us over, and he put the wheels in, he put the wheels in motion for that. Gives a few contacts, and I had a few contacts on the East Coast and stuff. We all got chatting, and we managed to don't know how we did it, but we managed to put together a 2-week tour. It was fantastic.
That's awesome.
It was brilliant, and the way we went down as well was brilliant. I think some American people would say, are you from Scotland? Are you from Australia? No, it's just it's just a northern accent, love. That's what it is.
Right.
But so America was absolutely fantastic, and that's gone really well for us. And we've just released a split single with the Detroit Rhythm Crew. And we've released a split 7-inch vinyl single. So on one side, obviously, you've got the Detroit Rhythm Crew, and then you've got us. It's been released in America, and it's just been picked up by Spinning Riot Records in Mexico. So it's getting about. So that's great. So obviously, we're seeing the rewards from that. And obviously, we've got to come back to Supernova next year. We would have been there this June, just gone.
Yeah.
Obviously, teams put paid to that. So we're coming back to that. And obviously, we'd like to return another do another tour at some point. As for stuff like splashes and things like that, we've been around since 2013, so we've become very tight. And we're well known for our live energetic performances. And we like to get in the crowd and get the crowd on the stage, have a bit of mayhem sort of thing, and that's what we're well known for. And we've become quite tight musicians. And their first album came out and received great reviews in the local, in the UK music media and things like that, which helped obviously. And then it went from there really, and we just with the specials. I mean, I've done a little bit of work with the specials in the past and stuff like that. And whether it was a reward for running their online fan club a bit, I don't know, whatever. But they asked if they wanted to, play a few shows on their tour, and I mean, they're my favourite band of all time, and a lot of the lads in the band are big Specials fans, so it was like a dream come true. We were 13 years old buying their records,
Right.
So it was an awesome occasion, and to play in front of 6,000-7,000 people every night, it was just mind blowing. We were a little bit like rabbits in headlights, but, it was a really great experience. And same with the beat, we got approached by Dave Wakeling, who we had previously supported him in Newcastle in England. He came over a couple of years ago. So he knew of us and he approached us, and we've got 7 or 8 dates on the tour, including the closing date, which is in Bristol next year.
Wonderful.
So and we've also played Madness as well, which is great. So we've done the full house now, sort of thing. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
We
have to pinch ourselves sometimes, seriously.
I mean, at the rate that you are going, Paul, where do you go from here? What are the goals? Who else do you want?
This is it. Goals. If we're all, shall we say, seniors of a senior age. we're all late 40s, early 50s, but if we're 18, and the music business has changed so much nowadays, so the opportunities of being picked up by a major label and everything, especially with ska bands and things, has pretty much waned away. It's gone. So it's all DIY, do it yourself now, and we seem to have mastered the DIY approach of how we run our things. So we run our own record label, we run our own management, and stuff like that. So we're pretty much, it's all in house. So our goals, do you know what it is? We just love doing it. That's it. We just love doing it. We love writing songs. We're quite a political band, but we also have some good time numbers and things. But we just love to do what we do. We love the recording process. We love the writing process. We love, and when the song does really well, and you can remember it from its early stages when you've got this really rough demo and you put the worst vocal down just as a guide, and you think, oh God. But so when you see it all come together, things like that, that's what cheers us on. And when you do get really good gigs, for us, that's the goals, And if someone says a nice review, or someone says of a record or a gig or whatever, I see it as job done, really. And we, and we just want to entertain people, and that's about it, really. We just want to keep going, doing what we do.
I'm excited that we will eventually get to meet you in person, because we'll see you at Supernova next year.
You will? Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. I'm so stoked. Yeah. We got tickets, and then COVID happened, and I was like, damn it! But I guess I'm thankful, right? But it can continue to go on.
Yeah, the COVID thing's been terrible for everybody, hasn't it? You know, not just ska bands or anything like that, or ska gigs and that, but, you know, music across the world been completely wiped out, and there's no sign of it. I mean, we have done a few social distant gigs. We've got one coming up in a couple of weeks, and although it's nice to get out on stage, it's and it's nice to have people there, but, you know, your audiences have gone from 200, 100 to 30. You know, because they have to have, in England, I don't know what it's like in the United States, but in England at the moment, you can have tables with no more than 6 people on each table, and it's all got to be probably like a metre apart, and you can't dance, you can't sing, it's ridiculous, but...
this to me does not make sense, right? So if we're all congregating into one space and we're all breathing the same fucking air, what does it matter if you are singing or dancing? Yeah. I feel like this is a... When we talk about putting those restrictions into the, nomenclature of what this disease is, why are we stripping people of the one thing that actually has shown to bring people together? Why are we getting rid of the arts? What the fuck did we ever do to you, world? No.
Well, the problem we've got having in England at the moment, I should say in that kingdom, is we've got the government making all these decisions, telling us what's good for us, stuff like that. Then they are breaking the own rules they have set. Mm-hmm. Now that is a major, major problem, because it became. Then you think, hang on a minute, what the hell's going on here? And then I'm not a conspiracy theorist of any kind, and I know it's out there and it's lethal, but I'm starting to think, is it some sort of, you know, not just me, quite a few people saying, you know, it's starting to feel like some sort of control. Some sort of, you know, it just I don't know what's going on, but you know, I mean, in England we've got the government have announced because we've had loads and loads of music venues closed for good, and you know, it's terrible. Yeah. It's terrible, right? And it'll be the same in the States. You know, the grassroots venue where bands cut their teeth and you get these first experiences and stuff. And they're lifeblood of any music scene. And just in the northeast where I live, we've had 3 major ones closed and then another 11 smaller ones closed, and that's just in the last 3 weeks. Wow. You know, and these are not going to reopen their doors. Now, we can't go to these places anymore where we've been going for years. Mm-hmm. And it's a worrying factor, it really is. And it's a worrying factor, like you just said there, if you can have these sort of... But, well, again, sorry to get a bit political, but while we're all, in England specifically, and probably the States, while we're all being sent to work, while all our kids are being sent to school, right? Then what you know, and they're all mixing. So what? I don't get it. I don't get any of it.
I don't understand it either.
No.
When it came, like when things happened, you know, last March, I would say is when the world started to really be aware. Which means that we didn't give a fuck about China until how many months after? So anyways, that's another issue in and of itself. But then you've got, you know, people like, okay, if we wanted to really stop this, what we would have said is we have this, since we can make fake money, it would seem like in currency anyway, everybody stay the fuck home. We're going to pay everybody's bills. We're going to pay you to live because we care that we don't want you dead. And so...
Well, this is it. And I think your government, our government, you know, they're there for one reason and one reason only, and that is to look after its citizens and run the country. And as a result of that, they have a duty of care to the citizens in that country. Mm-hmm. And you know, and that is what you just hit the nail on the head. And look after us. You should have. You know, I don't know what it's like over where you are, but in the United Kingdom, I can't believe that they don't have a pot for emergencies.
Right.
You know,
that's poor
it could
planning.
Be nuclear, cyber, it could be. Do you know what I mean? It could be anything. There should be something in place, and they don't have it.
Nope. And it has become, I think, very apparent now more than ever that the almighty, you know, pound or dollar or whatever form of currency it is that we're euros, whatever it is more important than people, and that and so much so that we're getting rid of anything that is human. We want to exhaust every possible resource while making everybody afraid so that big government can come in and control us more. I don't know about about you, but I'm fucking, you know, where we live, we've got how I view what's happening currently in the United States with, it's not a presidency anymore, it's a circus, as Adam Flymo Birch so lovingly put into a song. But we're watching history repeat itself. And Germany did this, right? Back in the 30s into the 40s. And I feel like that's...
Well, it's the same here. I mean, they're making laws and shifting. They're now sacking people from the civil service who are supposed to be impartial, and they're putting their own people in. They want to put their own people in the BBC. And, you know, and these are... It's become a dictatorship in this country. That's the way it's going. And it's done in front of people who are just taking no notice. And before it's, you know, and it'll be too late. It'll be too late, and they'll have complete and utter control. You know?
And how do we change that, Paul? Like, what can we do? Because I feel like the music industry, all right, who has suffered significantly from this, is trying to at least stay afloat by taking care of its own. I feel like I've watched the music industry, musicians, and despite genre, form more, it would almost seem like unions to take care of each other. So what's the resolution? How do we do that?
This is it. This is the tough question, isn't it? But I mean, like you just said there, if that's what different genres are starting to do, and then, you know, maybe you know, if no one else is going to look after us, then we maybe do have to look after ourselves, and that means pulling together across the board. You know, I mean, the good thing is this sort of situation, as it does anything, any sort of crisis. I mean, we've written some pretty good, hard-hitting lyrics. We've already got songs from them, you know. Right. And we have one song which is called Tory, which, of course, is the government in this country. And it's very sweary. But, you know, it's how angry we are. And when we do it live, I just have to do it. I love to do it live, you know. But you know, it's having to do, but obviously we can't do it as live as we used to, you know. So beforehand, you could go to all the major cities and be singing this song and sort of like reiterating your point across. Maybe you wake up one person, maybe one person thinks about it. I don't know, but you know, I will expect that for across the board. Though I do think you'll get some fantastic material and fantastic work come out of all this. That's what I think.
I do think that that's starting to happen. Like a lot of bands that we've talked to this year, they have really hit it into high gear into writing and producing, and because they have time to do it, because they're not out touring. So what has been the positives for you guys? Tell us about during, you know, this past year, what you've been doing and creating and have out there.
Well, it's been. We started off the year really well on the road and stuff like that, and our last proper gig was back in March, actually, just before the lockdown in England. It was in Edinburgh, and again, it finished on a high, really. So that was pretty good. But you know, we've been writing the second album, and we've been recording demos, and we've been lucky to be able to get into the studio, which has only just reopened. So we've sort of kept ourselves busy, but we've also joined the streaming side of things as well. We contributed a new video, like the COVID edition, one of our tracks that I sent you, the one It's Gone. We had that played at the Supernova online event for Alpha Boys School, and stuff like that. So we've tried to keep things together, because the thing is as well, excuse me, is that a lot of bands are losing their profile. Do you know what I mean? Because they're not seen as much, and I understand people are getting down and stuff like that, and I understand it completely. But it's the idea of keeping our profile up that has kept me pretty much ticking over and keeping sane, really. And same with the other guys, you know. So when we've been doing these little streaming things, you know, they've all been filming isolated at home, but it gives them something to do. It makes them feel as if they're contributing, and it makes them feel as if, you know, it's a little bit of normality, shall we call it, you know. So basically that's what we've been doing. We've been doing all that sort of thing, and we've been doing live streams from our own Facebook page, not of a live stream, probably just records it. But I'm just getting used to the technology, to be honest, because it's all new, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're all trying to embrace this thing and work out what's going on. And we've taken part in a lot of online festivals with things and stuff. So it's been nice. It's been nice and stuff. But just for me personally, and ska music in general is. You can have any band record a record, but for me, it's the live experience. Ska music should be experienced live, and it's a form of great, music. Music is a form of great expression, and playing live is a complete sort of extension of that. And I miss that. I miss that so much. I really do.
So you said you guys are in the works now of creating this second album, and that your studio just reopened. So tell us about the recording process for you guys, because you did mention it's all do-it-yourselves. When you guys go into the studio, is it one of you guys recording, mix, mastering? Do you work in partnership with someone? Tell us about that process.
Well, this is the bit. This is the sort of thing I love. I love the whole. It's like giving birth. It's like
Well, I do know. Do you know?
I wouldn't know, but yeah. So what we do is at the moment, because the way we do still have COVID restrictions in the studio. So instead of 7 of us being in the studio sat around on the couches, it now has to be 3 in there. So we do shifts, we're in and out and stuff like that. So, but what we do is, basically we record a demo at home. We send the demo around to the lads. They get their notation or chord progression, whatever it is they need. So that I sometimes put a guide vocal down, and then we'll listen to that for a bit, and we'll say, right, okay, this is the date we're going in. So we go in. We have a wonderful engineer called Chris Davison. Chris is a great artist in his own right, and I can't remember what the guy's name is, but he supported the guy who did the music for The Lost Boys. The film The Lost Boys?
Yeah.
He supported the guy in England last year, and he came on his tour. So Chris is an actual genius. So basically what we tend to do is it's always the rhythms first, so we get the drums done. What we've done this time around, because we're a bit more experienced and we know our way around things a little bit more. So we go in, and what we'll say is, right, okay, here's 7 songs, let's do 7 rhythm tracks. So it's drums get down first, and then the bass, and then we tend to move on to Mark will do the guitars, offbeat chops and stuff first, and then he'll do any extra guitar bits. And then it will be, that gets right in the head, it'll be the brass, and then the brass, it will be trumpet, trombone, and saxophone. And them boys are proper musicians, as I call them. If you show me a little sheet of music, I go, what's that? I'm a singer, I don't need to know that. But these guys are really good. So they're pretty efficient. They can go in, and it doesn't take many takes to get what they need to do. So they can be done within an early evening, in a couple of hours. So then it's keyboards, and then the final thing we do is vocals, which means I'll go in, I'll lay down the main vocal, and the guy who does backing vocals for me, Steve, who plays keyboards, great with harmonies and fantastic. We work well together. So it's great hearing it come. And Steve has got such a great range. He does lows and highs, and he's very clever at what he does. So, and also when you hear it back, even in a rough version, you think, wow, that sounds brilliant. Then what we do is, once we've got all the stems recorded, which we record in Darlington at the Forum Music Centre, Studio 1, because we're based in Darlington, which is sort of in between York and Newcastle, if anybody knows the northeast of England. So, and then when we've got the stems, we send down to our friend, the Tinker Man. That's his nickname. He's called Paul Harris, really, but the Tinker Man suits him. Lets the tinker around with things. So, but he's an absolute genius. Paul's got a massive amount of experience in recording, and he's worked for the BBC and things like that. So he's a bit of a soul man himself, but he knows he has a template for us, knows what we're all about, and he does some wonderful things with the stuff we do. In fact, we've just recorded a song this week, it's just a cover song for a charity album that covers the glam rock in England, and so we were happy with that, and he sent it straight. That's a song completely recorded on Tuesday, mixed by Sunday, done. It's brilliant. It's a great experience. So yeah, so that's what we do, but while that's all going on, we're still all writing in the background. The good thing is, And when we first started out, it's really the guitarist Mark and myself doing lyrics and stuff like that. But now it's spread out to a lot of the band. A lot of the band are all writing their own songs and coming with their own ideas, which is fantastic because we get twice as much working. Does have its problems because you've got to work out what's what. But we tend to say, well, that's going to be an album track. That'll be an album track. That'll be a single. That'll be a title track, and we work around that and stuff like that. But we're very proud of where we come from. We're very proud of the north of England. There's a big north-south divide in this country. Very proud of where we come from. And the second album is going to be called Northern Gods, which is nothing major, but it's basically it's a political thing about coal mining industry. And the front cover has actually got I don't know if you guys know, but there was a march from the northeast of England in the 30s from Jarrow to London about protesting against the closure of mines and stuff like that. So
wow.
And working conditions. And that picture there from the 1930s is going to be the front cover, and it looks. But we've tinkered around with it, put filters on it to make it look a bit more eclectic. So it's going to be, it's a great thing. But while we've been in lockdown, and Mark said to me the other day, I'm halfway through possibly writing album 3. There's this good thing about it, like you say, because people have the time now.
Yeah. So with that, once you're done recording and everything's where it should be, do you guys get back the finished product to then distribute the way you want to? And then do you go through a distributor? But you are your own record label, yeah?
Yeah, we are. Well, we get the high quality WAV file back of it and a high quality MP3, and then basically it all depends on what we want to do. Obviously, if you want to release something on vinyl, on CD, or as a download, it's a different level and standard of recording of format you get back. It needs to be like there is a mastering process for vinyl, there's a mastering process for CD and things like that. So it all has to be right. You get all these back. What I do, and the easiest thing to do, is we just host it through CD Baby, which obviously you'll know it's an American site and stuff like that. So and basically once you've done that and you've paid your money, they distribute it all for you and collect the money for it and then pay you every month. You don't have to worry about it. That's on the download side of things. If we do vinyl or a CD, anything like that, we do that ourselves. We have somebody we use regularly. And the distribution is done by ourselves, and it can be a bit it's a bit of a drag sometimes, to be honest, because you can be sat all night packing and things like that. You've got to get all the dresses. You go, but it's worth it, because these people take out the time to buy your music, and you want to share the love with them. So it means nothing, but it's just a small little thing we have to do.
How did you come about creating your own record label, and is it just you did that so you could keep things in-house, or do you have other bands that are featured on your record label? Yeah, well,
we take our ethos really from the Two-Tone record label, where Two-Tone, when it first started in the 70s, had brought other bands into its roster who probably wouldn't have got a record deal anywhere else. And what it is partly to keep it in-house and keep control and stuff like that, because we've become, because success and stuff like that breeds this thing where your imagery and artwork. We've got a fantastic guy who does our art. He's called Dave Moran. I'll give him a big shout out. Yorkie lad, I know you're listening, but he's fantastic in his artwork, and it's become very, very striking and stuff like. People are having his artwork tattooed. I don't know what it feels like for him, but when we see a band logo tattooed on people's skin, it's the biggest buzz you can get, because that's it. It's permanent, really. So it becomes almost a brand, really. You become almost a brand, and only on a small scale, but it is still that sort of thing, and you have to run it like that. So we do like to have the control of that, not give that off to anybody else, because that might not be how we want it to go. But the record label and stuff, it was best to keep it in the house. But what we want to do is, when we get the time, shall we say, is look around our local area for small up-and-coming bands and stuff, be able to put out stuff for them. And if they're struggling to get a place to release stuff, then, that's the thing we'll do, is support local bands.
What is the local scene like? So prior to COVID, all right? Give us some insight as to how often were you touring, and the area radius that you were touring within and playing out, and what is the local scene there?
The local scene in the Northeast is very big. It's like England at the moment. Realistically, since the Specials first came back to tour their 30th anniversary, which is 2009, there's been a massive boom ever since then. It's never really gone away. In England, you could probably do a ska gig every night a week at some points. So it's been very, very busy. And for us this year, we were booked out every weekend from January right until New Year's Eve this year. So we were working all the way through, non-stop. Yeah, non-stop. And sometimes, you'd be working, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It can be like that. And that's not just in one place. We tour the UK. We go from Scotland, we go down to the south coast. We tour up and down the country, and from north and from east to west. Playing festivals and stuff. We have a nice following in the northeast up here, which is great. But because we've done quite well and stuff, we're pretty much well known across the country now. And we have over 20. I think it's ridiculous. It's something like 23,000 followers on Facebook. It's great. It's an amazing thing. So the word's getting out there. Because coming to America as well was such an injection for us as well, because it's we've made a lot of American friends, a lot of American fans, and I really appreciate that, because it's something very special. It's something very special, when you sit in your bedroom and you're writing songs out, and stuff like that. If you're writing a song at 1 a.m, and it's a dark song and stuff like that, and then people are out there next, 2 months down the line, people are buying it and talking about it. Then you think, wow, this is the creation process, as we say, is an amazing thing, and I'll always be grateful for that. I'm sure the lads in the band are the same.
So, I love first and second wave ska. Original ska and two-tone were things that were really clung to me, because when I first started to hear about ska as a young human being, it was the 90s in the U.S., and there was a huge third wave boom, right? For you, is the UK more predominantly one scene or another? And have you noticed as you tour that it would seem that certain areas cling to a wave of ska than another?
Yeah, it can happen. I know we've got a good ska core scene here and ska punk scene here. And stuff like that, but it's the whole thing. The two, it's original ska, two-tone ska, and we get the bands we get the Toasters over here a lot and things like that, Real Big Fish and stuff, and they can all, they all play to good houses and stuff like that. So obviously, and the two-tone thing, and then you've got and there's a lot of bands that in the 90s in England, there's a lot, the scene went really underground, but it was still very big. And there's a lot of bands like the Loafers and the Hot Knives. And
I love the Loafers.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah. But stuff like that. But there, and the bands that have gone on from them. Then you've got the Specials have come back, Selector come back, the Beat have come back, and stuff like that. And it's just it's drip fed to everything. So, and then from that you get a lot of offshoots of other different types of bands. It's amazing. All the genres you can think of ska and stuff like that, including original reggae sounds and rocksteadies, are all here on this island. It's amazing. I don't think any area there's certain groups of people who prefer one thing, but we all go to the different types of gigs, so it's probably right across the board, and that's a good thing, because I don't think, although we play a certain style of two-tones, we base our own personal sound on two-tone, but we're not just entirely two-tone. We've got this northern thing about us, and I think that's what makes us stand out a little bit, is because we're very northern as well, I remember being in the United States last year, and I was talking between a song, and this guy says, "I can't understand a word you're saying."
Oh no!
It was great. It was good banter.
Well, I can understand what you're saying. I do have. I will admit this. My ethnocentrism a little bit, because I was having anxiety. I'm like, he's from the north. It might be really hard to understand him, and I hope that I can.
I'm trying my best not to speak 100 miles an hour, because I tend to run fast with my mouth sometimes. So I'm trying not to.
We're following just fine so far. We're good.
Good. That's good.
So why, Paul, two-tone?
Yeah.
And what got you into ska?
Oh, well, this is what I love to talk about. For me, it was, I mean, I've always been into music. I mean, I remember buying my first record when I was about 6. I think it was the Bay City Rollers or something like that, a bit of glam rock from the 70s. But when Two Tone came out in 79, it hit me at the absolute perfect age because I was 13. So I was really starting to get into music seriously, seriously. And I can still remember this day. I remember sitting at home. We had a local TV program, and the specials were on doing gangsters. And I just looked up and I thought, "What the hell is this? This is just something different." This, and literally, people say, and I've stuck with it. I've never all my life. I'm 50, early 50s, I'll say. And it's still with me now. And I couldn't really tell you what it is, but whatever it is, that hypnotic offbeat, I don't know what it is, but something clambers inside you and it stays hold of you. And so for me, 79 was the birth of it all, and it was quite a tough time in England at that moment and stuff, and the right wing and the National Front and the British movement were gaining popularity and stuff, and there was the SUS laws in England, which was the stop and search, where the black communities were getting stopped all the time by the police, and it was rough all times. And Two Tone came along at a time when it was so needed. Preaching, obviously, preaching is not the right word, but talking about racial unity. They had 2 black guys in the band. They knew exactly what they were talking about. They were confident, and they were hard hitting. And the one thing I liked about the specials was their edge. I liked the menace. Out of all the Two Tone bands, for me, they've always got the menace, and they were, just so sharp, and basically they didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? They didn't give a fuck, and that's as a 13-year-old, I thought, wow, this is just amazing, just absolutely amazing. So of course, I shaved my head, got me Doc Martin boots, got a Harrington jacket, and I became a skinhead for about. Well, I still am a skinhead at heart, but I wore skinhead clothing right up to into the early 2000s, and stuff. So, But yeah, for me, that's how it's never gone away, But the specials, the beat, madness, selector, all that sort of thing. But I've also followed the whole scene all the way through. So, into the 80s, into the 90s, and then of course it was a barren piece in between, sort of mid 80s, when there was nothing going on in England, of course. So when the Untouchables landed, and you know what I'm talking about,
yeah,
the Untouchables from LA, I was like, get in, what's this? This is brilliant, and they're still one of my favourite American bands of all time. And stuff like that. Maybe, fingers crossed, maybe this is exclusive for you, right?
All right.
Maybe we might be touring with them in the United Kingdom next year.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah, nobody knew that until now.
You heard it here first, and that's why you gotta watch the show, so you get all of the hard-hitting new news, the brand new news.
Yeah, it is great, and again for me it's another dream come true, because I absolutely adore the Untouchables. They're brilliant,
So you also said that you're trying to hopefully go to Australia.
Yeah, well, we've got contacts out there and friends and stuff like that who are desperate for us to go over. It's obviously a logistical nightmare.
Right.
It's from here. It's it's a 24 hours journey by flight.
Right, and several stops along the way, I'm guessing, yeah?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I know a couple of guys have done it in 2. They've flown to Dubai and changed to Dubai and then gone straight across to Australia. They said they wouldn't do it again.
Right, because you're flying across that ocean, you're flying across the Pacific for hours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, completely.
I mean, I went to Hawaii, and it was a non-stop flight. From Chicago to Honolulu was 9 straight hours. And because you're gaining time, you're really, traveling, farther.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We found that very strange when we to the United States. We've never, people have been on holidays and things like that. I've never been to the States, so you're moving from East Coast to Midwest to West Coast. I was like, what time is it? Can I call the wife? Can I speak to the kids? What is it? Are you in bed? It was very strange. She was texting me at 4:00 in the afternoon saying, "I'm going to bed, darling." And I was like, "What? What's she on about?" It's 4 is in Los Angeles or whatever.
Right.
But and when I was going to bed, she was getting up and going and taking the kids to school.
Yeah. And how does that work? Being
it's crazy.
Having support from family is ultimately what makes bands continue to be successful.
Oh, God.
So
absolutely.
Talk about that as a father and as a partner. How does it work being able to logistically go play, maintain a band, and have support from your family?
Well, I've said this a few times, and I firmly believe that without the support of family, there's just no options. You can't do it. It's simple as that. It's as simple as that. Because we're so busy, it can affect looking for a holiday.
Right.
Funny enough, she was looking at a holiday tonight, and she says, "Oh, what about the 26th of June next year?" Got a gig. So that's up for next year. That was, well, it didn't go down too well, but that is one of just small problems and stuff like that. But yeah, it's amazing because my wife's wonderful, and the rest of the bands have got very, very patient partners and things like that. But without that, you are lost. You're completely lost, and you just hope they've got to believe in what you're doing, and obviously they must do, and that's why let's get on with it. America's a big ask because I'm a bit of a home bird and stuff like that. We were away for about 18, 19 days. And I have to admit, by the time we got to the last gig, I was excited, one, for the gig, but two, because I was going home.
Right.
And that's just the way it is. I miss my wife and I miss my kids. There's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes she'll come with us or travel with us. And we used to get my young boy. He used to come on stage and play a tambourine, but he's a bit of an age now where he's a bit self-conscious now, so he doesn't do it anymore, which is a shame.
Oh.
Yeah.
We can't keep our damn kids off a stage. Anytime we go to a show, I have to remind them that not everybody is their dad's band, and we have to not be on stage with them. So it does. We both, Kif and I both have been in bands and been on stage and taken our kids and trying to pull them off of stage when it's not your gig is like, get off the stage, kid.
It's like you said, we encourage people on stage and stuff like that. We some of the stage managers look at you with frowns and "I'd be all right, you'd be all right," but they're looking at their risk assessment register on their shaking their heads, get off,
please don't die up here. Yep.
We don't have the insurance. I'm going, it's all right. No one's gonna die. It's all right.
Right. If you fall, we totally are cool with it. We'll fix it ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So
we'll sort it. Don't worry.
How?
But no, it's support is vital. Without support, we can't do it. Simple as.
How? I mean, being a band dad. Do you now that your kids are of older ages and such things, are they also looking at you as an example and do they branch out and want to do their own music?
Well, I've never been one for forcing that sort of thing on children and stuff like that. If they want to make that decision, that's up to them. I'll listen to what I want to listen to. But I've got 3 older kids, and the same with them. They my oldest is now 30, and he listens to Jimi Hendrix and Cream and stuff in the 60s. I've got a lad who's in his mid-20s, and he listens to indie and stuff like that. And my daughter here is 16. She's into I don't know if you get it over there, but over here we've got this thing of teens with guitars and stuff like that. I don't know what you call it. I don't even know what the music's described as, but she's into all that sort of thing, and she's learning to play guitar and stuff like that. So it's nice to see that happening, and I try and push that side of things. I wouldn't push, obviously, what I listen to. You've got to beat the sky or anything like that. I wouldn't do that because it's just not what I do. But I think this. I mean, half the time I think just look upon me as an embarrassment.
Oh no. That's just my dad.
They're allowed to do that. Oh God! Look again! Look at him! Look what he's doing now. I've been on telly a few times. Going, oh God, he's on the telly again.
Whatever. I'm sure that they're also. I think that's like a proud embarrassment. Our kids think it's cool, but also they're like, oh, that's my dad.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I think that's exactly what it is. Yeah, well done. Yeah, that's what it is.
So, how about we talk about merchandise? What merchandise do you guys have? Where is it available? How can people who are listening today support you?
Great, well, that's a great thing. Merchandise, we're very strong on the merchandise front. We have pretty much covered the lot. We've got a fantastic array of T-shirts and hoodies of different kinds, high contrast colour hoodies or plain hoodies. T-shirts of very different design. We've got based around our own logo, and we've got obviously the name the Skapones. It comes from Scat and Capones, obviously because you have an American band called Skapones from Chicago.
Yeah.
So our logo is actually a sort of two-tone looking Al Capone. It's pretty good. If you check it out on our website and stuff, he's great because we just call him Al. You know?
Yeah.
So he's on everything. But we've got obviously if you go to www.theskapones.co.uk/store, it's all there. The album vinyls there, the CDs there. There are downloads available on there. The T-shirts, the hoodies. We've also got stickers. We've got badges, metal badges, pin badges, patches. Remember, there's so on patches. We've got all that sort of thing. And we've just released a retro version of the first album with added bonus tracks on cassette, which has gone mad. I couldn't believe it.
Cassette is coming back hard.
Cassette.
Everybody loves vinyl, but cassette now has become like that hot merch item that people are like, look I got a cassette. I'm like, yeah, do you have the pencil to wind it when the fucking tape comes out?
Well, the funniest thing is we've started giving it, when we send them out with a pencil.
For the win!
If you look at our website, you'll see we call it a free maintenance tool.
Oh, I love it. That is wonderful.
So, yeah.
How did you guys...
We've got that. We've got... Sorry, go on.
Nope, you keep going.
Oh yeah. Well, so basically, we've got that. So the cassette. I mean, we do a lot of vinyl now as well, which is great. And vinyl's, like you say, is very popular. I'm a big vinyl fan myself. We're very, very surprised at the cassette. The cassette's almost sold out. It's taken us by storm. We just were like, what is this? But we just thought it was something gimmicky. You know, let's get a cassette. Let's go old school. You know. It's been wonderful, and we're always looking to do different things. We may do something on a USB stick. We may do, there's so many different things coming in now. This is where normally I complain about technology, but I'm talking to you over Messenger and stuff like that. So there's one thing that's working. So that's a good start.
Right.
And then and technology when it comes to recording and stuff like that, and making your own merchandise stuff is a wonderful thing. Of course, we've got a great art guy here. We get excited about being able to do things with his art as well. So.
Good.
Yeah, so www.theskapones.co.uk/store. And I'll say it now, but not that you will do, but you can get it at gigs. whether or not that'll happen again or not for a while, I don't know. But normally we take it all to gigs in a big bean suitcase. So.
Well, I mean, hopefully, fingers crossed, at Supernova, right? You'll have merch.
Yeah.
So.
We'll make sure we have, yeah.
Right.
Come and see it. Just come and see me. I'll give you some T-shirts, don't worry.
Hey, so that leads me to, when you go and you travel across anywhere now, how does that work as far as logistics? As a band, do you guys just go travel and hope that you have a co-op of the musicians here that you've booked with who will share equipment? And do you mail out your merch first so that it is stateside or wherever you're going to be, and then it makes travel easier, or how does that work?
Well, that's a good thing. I mean, it all depends on where you're traveling. We played last year. We played in Poland, in Eastern Europe. Because we were at that time, Britain, United Kingdom was a member of the EU. We could just take merchandise across. There's nothing. Just stick it in a suitcase, wheel it through as an extra suitcase. It was that easy. And obviously, we're now out of that, and that's completely gone. The whole thing is going to be expensive. We're not even looking at that yet. I'm not even worrying about it. So what I may do in future is, if we are going to Europe, I may look at getting it produced in Europe to be picked up whenever we're going to play. I think that's going to be the easiest thing.
Right.
In the United States, I'm sure you know Lady Hatchet from the Scotch Bonnets.
Yes.
She did our merchandise.
Oh.
When we came to the States, she did our T-shirts. Fantastic job. Yeah. So when we turned up in America, they were in a box. It was great. Just ferrying it about and stuff like that. Took it to shows and stuff like that. So, but what we do is normally, when it comes to like logistical stuff, is if we're playing local northeast, the northeast not that very. It's from where we are to Scotland is 3 hours, so it's on by road, which is not a lot for you guys. I know that, but so it's not that big a place, so we can all car share and stuff like that. But sometimes, what we have over here, a lot of venues that don't even have their own PA system. So what we have to do is take our own. We do own our own equipment. We've got a full PA system, and we have everything. We have everything. Monitors a lot, sound desk a lot. It's all done on digital screens now, anyway. So when we take a big vehicle for that, we charge a little bit extra for the use of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's only for the place doesn't have a PA. We don't mind doing that; it's fine, because we just want to play, And but what we do is we tend to have. There's a guy in Sunderland on the coast here. He's called Band for Vans. Vans for Band. That's it. Vans for Bands. That's it. He supplies tour buses to like the big punk bands like the Angelic Upstarts, the Cockney Rejects, and people like that in England and stuff. And so we use theirs. And yeah. So you get these vans. They've got tables in, PlayStations. It's just fantastic, and it's cheap. And we just chip in a bit of money towards it. It's not really that expensive. And stuff like that. But when we play like festivals abroad, stuff like trips, we sometimes go across the sea to Ireland and places like that. You get everything paid for you that way. It's fantastic and it's good. When we did the American tour, we did a small crowd fund to see if we could get money towards fares and stuff like that. And we raised about £1,000, which was fantastic and wonderful, and people got something from that. So the ska community I find is one of the greatest communities there is. I don't know about other music genres, but I've been in the ska community for about 40 years, so I know exactly what it's like. And in England, it's fantastic, and they're very, very supportive of what we do. And it all boils down. We're just on about family support. It's support is across the board, and that's from people and supporters and fans and who follow you. When people come to a gig. That's 300 miles away from you, where they live, to see you. And so it's a wonderful thing. It has to be. And we never forget things like that, because we just always never forget where you come from. Basically, don't forget your roots, and that's why we try and stick to our roots as much as we can.
With that being said, Paul, where can people where do you want to direct traffic today for those who are watching and viewing? Where online are you, and what platform do you want folks to utilize so that you guys are recognized?
All of them. But so you've got www.theskapones.co.uk. That's the main website on the web. We're also across major social medias. I'm still finding around a lot of stuff, but we're on Twitter, which is twitter.com/Skapones. We're on Facebook, which is facebook.com/theskapones. Instagram, which is instagram.com/theskapones. We're on Bandcamp. I can't remember the address. Just type us in.
Yes, if you type it in, you show up. Yep.
Yeah, Bandcamp, and what else? There's a lot of news bits and bats coming up now, so we're looking at other little. There's some sort of like Facebook, little new social media platforms. I can't remember what it's called now, Me or something like that, and stuff like that. So we're looking at things like that. They're joining things like that. So we've got basically everything covered, really. But if anybody can, we tend to post a lot quick stuff on Facebook and all the other social media platforms. The website's mainly safe. It's more like an introduction, really. You've got the bios, you've got videos and music and things like that. So press packs and things like that. So photo galleries and things. But we're very busy on the social media more than anything else. I mean, the website's up to date with that's got all the shows on as well that we've got coming up from the dates we've got a few dates this year, and then what's going on next year. So. Yeah. But yeah, we're all over the place.
Do you want to share your upcoming gigs? Where can people find you?
Yes, locally, that'd be great.
Or in person, socially distanced in person. I don't know, whatever you call it.
Yeah, socially distant. Yeah, it's live and socially distanced. It's called. We're playing on. Excuse me. We've got a little gig in our hometown on the 16th of October. We're recording that on video and audio for a session for a project that we're working with. That's only going to be a private invite. That's going to be family and friends, but we will have a few spare places. We're going to do a little competition online and like a first come first serve sort of thing. But we're going to do all that. That's the 16th of October. Then we go to the November the 7th, which is Whitehaven. Now that's right across on the Cumbrian coast. You probably don't know what I'm talking about. But it's on the northwest, and that's another live and social distancing gig. After that, well, it's in the lap of the gods, really. We do have gigs booked in Sunderland in the northeast in November. We have also on the northeast coast on New Year, we had a gig with Roddy Radiation from the Specials playing with us. So hopefully, it's not been cancelled yet. So as it stands, that's all we've got. It's just such a shame because the diary was, like I said, was full. Right up to every weekend. We were all over the place. It was going to be fantastic. We had to cancel gigs in Poland again. We've lost the Irish International Ska Festival. We've lost all that sort of thing. So we're trying to remain positive. That's the main thing. So any little gig we can get, we're just happy to get out and play.
Yep, one day at a time for the betterment of all mankind, right?
Exactly.
Well, Paul, I have tons more questions and I could keep talking to you for forever. But we are going to let you go so that we can play your music.
Thank you.
And
that'd be good.
I thank you very much for joining us. I look forward to meeting you, fingers crossed, in June of next year. And stay positive, happy, healthy, keep making ska music. And in closing, is there anything you'd like to say in your final words, sir?
I'd like to say thank you for having us, because it helps with the band profiles we were talking, and I really appreciate your time and everything. And you keep up the good work as well, because what you're doing is a good thing. Everybody stay safe. We will dance together again. That's it.
All right. Well, thank you, Paul. Yeah. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Have a good evening.
And you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yes. That was Paul from the Skapones, which is a UK ska band. And it's awesome that we've got the technology, as frustrating as it is and limiting at times, to be able to talk to people across the world now, which is very nice. So thank you so much, Paul, for joining us. Kif and I are going to take a short break. We're going to be right back, and we're going to play stuff from their first album as well as some of their singles that they've released throughout this year. And so if you would like to, go grab a drink, go to the bathroom, come back. We'll see you here in just a few short seconds, okay?
Thanks.
Bye.
Come on, listen.